Have you ever looked at yourself in the mirror and wondered, why do I feel weaker, even though I'm doing everything right? You wake up early. You stretch. You eat fruits. You avoid junk food. You've cut down on red meat, fried foods, and processed sugar. You've tried everything the doctors told you. But somehow, your legs still feel heavy. Your knees still ache when you climb the stairs. And sometimes, just getting out of bed feels like trying to lift your body out of quicksand. Here's the scary part. It's not because you're lazy. And it's definitely not because you're old and just have to accept it. What if I told you the real problem could be sitting right on your breakfast plate? Yes, fruits. The very thing we've been told all our lives to eat more of. What if I told you that after 60, some healthy fruits may actually be damaging your muscles and joints from the inside out? It sounds crazy, right? But stay with me. Because in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you something most people, even nutritionists, don't talk about. Something that could explain why your strength is fading, why your joints feel stiff, and why, despite your best efforts, your body feels like it's slipping away from you. These fruits don't cause pain overnight. They're like silent thieves, robbing your strength a little bit each day. And by the time you notice, the damage is already done. You may already feel it, that slow, creeping weakness in your thighs, the burning in your calves when you walk, the wobble in your knees when you try to stand. But here's the good news, you're not powerless. You just haven't been told the full story. Until now. In this video, we'll reveal the 5 healthy fruits that could be weakening your muscles without you realizing it. And by the end, I'll also share 3 powerful fruits that actually help restore strength in your legs and joints, especially after age 60. So let's begin with the first big question. What exactly happens to your muscles and joints as you age, and how do certain fruits make it worse without you noticing? As we get older, changes in the body don't always shout, they whisper. They creep in slowly, quietly, often unnoticed until one day, you realize you've stopped doing things you once did without thinking. You walk up the stairs, and it feels like climbing a hill. You pause halfway, holding the railing, pretending to look at something, just to catch your breath. You sit on the bed and hesitate before standing up, because you know your knees will ache. Your legs feel stiff. Your thighs tremble. You tell yourself it's nothing. Just age. Just a cold morning. Just a busy day. But deep down, you know something's not right. The truth is, muscle loss after 60 is real, and it happens faster than most people realize. It's called sarcopenia, and it quietly strips away your strength, balance, and independence. The scary part? You could lose up to 8% of your muscle every decade after 40, and that number rises even faster after 60 if your diet isn't right. Your joints? They're inflamed. Your muscles? They're starving, not just for protein, but for proper support. And here's the twist. Some of the foods you think are helping are actually making things worse. You see, certain fruits, despite being packed with vitamins, can spike your blood sugar, inflame your tissues, or even interfere with your medications. They're like a wolf in sheep's clothing, sweet, natural, healthy, but silently working against your aging body. And it's not your fault. No one talks about this. No one warned you that after a certain age, healthy has to be redefined. You may be wondering, how can something so natural, so fresh, cause harm? That's what we're going to unpack next. Because once you understand how these fruits affect your muscles, joints, and energy, you'll start to see the patterns in your own body. You'll remember the day your knees felt unusually tight. Or the strange fatigue that hit you after your morning smoothie. Or the tingling in your calves after a healthy fruit salad. You're not imagining it. And the deeper we go, the more it will make sense. So let's take a look at these 5 innocent fruits, starting with the one that's probably in your kitchen right now. This fruit is often praised for its anti-inflammatory power, but for people over 60, it could be doing the exact opposite. Now, before we dive into the list of fruits that might be quietly harming your muscles, I want you to remember one thing. This video isn't here to scare you. It's here to wake you up, to protect your strength, your ability to walk, and your freedom to move without pain. Because at the end of this video, I'm going to give you something most people over 60 never get, the names of 3 fruits that actually support your muscles and joints, foods that help fight inflammation, restore balance, and gently strengthen your body every single day. But to understand which fruits help, you first need to know which ones are hurting you. And I promise, what you'll discover next will change how you look at your breakfast plate forever. But before we go on, let me ask you this. Have you noticed your legs feeling heavier in the last year? Or pain in your knees even after walking a short distance? If yes, I want you to do something right now. Type 1 in the comments. Not just for me, but for others watching, because you're not alone. Let's make this space a community, not just a video. A place where people finally hear the truth about their health, without sugarcoating it. And here's one more thing. Which fruit do you eat most often? Grapes? Bananas? Pineapple? Drop it in the comments below. Let's see if it shows up on this list. Because what I'm about to reveal next will surprise you. Let's start with the first fruit. It's sweet, tropical, and often praised for its anti-inflammatory powers. But for people over 60, it could be quietly making your legs weaker every day. Let's talk about the first fruit on our list, pineapple. It's bright, juicy, refreshing, often seen as nature's anti-inflammatory gift. And for good reason, it contains bromelain, a natural enzyme known to reduce swelling and improve digestion. But here's what almost no one tells you, especially if you're over 60. Bromelain doesn't always behave the same in an aging body. In fact, when combined with common medications, like blood thinners, arthritis drugs, or even basic anti-inflammatories, bromelain can increase bleeding risk, irritate blood vessels, and worsen small muscle inflammation in your legs. Let that sink in. The very fruit you might be eating to reduce joint pain could be quietly damaging the tiny blood vessels and nerve endings in your lower limbs. It's subtle. It's slow. But it adds up. You might notice it after a few weeks. A strange heaviness in your legs. A dull ache behind your knees. That tight, stretching feeling in your calves when you try to walk just a little faster. You stretch. You massage. You drink more water. But the feeling lingers. It's not in your head. And it might not be just getting older. It might be the pineapple you add to your smoothie each morning. Let's be clear, pineapple isn't evil. But for aging muscles, especially when mixed with certain meds, it becomes unpredictable. And unpredictability is the last thing your legs need right now. Does this sound familiar? If you've ever felt leg tightness or muscle fatigue after eating pineapple, type P1 in the comments. Let's see how many of us have experienced this without even realizing why. Next up, we're going to talk about a fruit you probably think is safe because it's so small and sweet. But in reality, it's one of the fastest ways to inflame your joints, especially your knees. You might be popping them like candy and not even know the damage they're doing. Let's move to the second fruit on our list, grapes. They're small, easy to snack on, naturally sweet. You probably think, what harm could a handful of grapes do? They're high in antioxidants, right? Full of resveratrol, a compound known to support heart health. And yes, in younger, metabolically active bodies, grapes can offer benefits. But once you cross 60, the game changes. Here's the hidden danger. Grapes are extremely high in natural sugars. And because they're so easy to overeat, you don't eat 1 or 2, you eat a dozen or more, your blood sugar can spike without you even realizing it. What happens next? A flood of glucose rushes into your bloodstream. Your insulin kicks in, trying to control the surge. But your aging cells aren't as efficient as they used to be. The excess sugar lingers longer. And that sugar becomes inflammation. Where does that inflammation settle first? Your joints. Your knees. Your hips. The places you already feel pain. Think about this. Have you ever had a fruit salad for lunch, mostly grapes and watermelon, and then felt strangely tired? Or noticed your knees feel heavier a few hours later? That's not just aging. That's your body reacting to a sudden sugar load it can't clear fast enough anymore. Grapes are deceptive. They look innocent. But for aging bodies, especially those with any blood sugar instability or early-stage insulin resistance, they can silently fan the flames of inflammation in your joints. If you've noticed more knee pain or afternoon fatigue after eating grapes, comment P2 below. And if grapes are your go-to snack, tell me in the comments. You might not be alone. Coming up next, a fruit that almost everyone believes is healthy, especially for heart health and potassium. But for people over 60, too much of it can silently burden your kidneys and leave your muscles cramping and weak. And yes, we're talking about bananas. Now, let's talk about a fruit that's almost always seen as healthy, bananas. They're convenient. They're filling. They're rich in potassium, which everyone says is good for your heart, your blood pressure, your muscles. But here's the truth most people don't hear, especially after the age of 60. Yes, potassium is important. But when you combine too much potassium with a slowing metabolism, reduced kidney function, and common medications like diuretics or ACE inhibitors, it becomes a problem. Here's why. As you age, your kidneys become less efficient at processing and flushing out excess potassium. And bananas? They're loaded with it. For a younger body, that's fine. But in someone over 60, especially those with high blood pressure, kidney strain, or even mild dehydration, the extra potassium builds up. And that buildup doesn't just stay in the kidneys. It affects your muscles, leading to cramps, stiffness, and even weakness. You might feel it when you wake up. A sudden Charlie horse in the middle of the night. Tightness in your calves as you try to get out of bed. Or that feeling that your legs are heavy, like they're moving through wet sand. You stretch. You drink water. You take magnesium, but the cramps keep coming. Have you ever connected it to the banana you eat every morning with your oatmeal? Or that second banana you snack on after lunch? Again, bananas aren't evil. But your aging body processes nutrients differently now. What was once helpful may now be silently overloading your system. If you've ever felt unexplained leg cramps or morning stiffness, comment P3 below. And if bananas are part of your daily routine, let me know. You're not the only one who thought they were completely harmless. Next, we'll look at a fruit that feels like a tropical treat, sweet, juicy, vibrant. But for older adults, its sugar and acid levels may actually trigger fatigue and weaken muscle recovery. You guessed it, mango. Let's turn to the fourth fruit, one that feels like a treat from nature itself, mango. It's sweet, creamy, full of tropical flavor. People love it for its vitamins, fiber, and antioxidants. Some even call it the king of fruits. But for older adults, especially those with joint issues, fatigue, or borderline diabetes, mango may not be the innocent fruit it seems. Here's why. Mangoes are extremely high in natural sugar. One medium-sized mango can have over 45 grams of sugar. That's more than some soft drinks. When you eat mango, your blood sugar spikes rapidly. And while a younger body can handle that surge, a body over 60 struggles to stabilize afterward. That sugar doesn't just cause a crash in energy, it fuels inflammation. And where does inflammation go first? The joints. The muscles. the areas where you're already feeling weakness. On top of that, mangoes are also acidic. For people with any history of gout, arthritis, or muscle pain, that acid can worsen uric acid levels, leading to stiffness, swelling, and burning pain in the knees, ankles, or even wrists. And it doesn't happen instantly. It creeps in. One morning, your legs feel fine. The next, they're sore, achy, almost bruised from the inside out. Still wondering why you feel drained after a healthy mango smoothie? Or why your afternoon walk feels harder after lunch? It could be this one fruit working against your body instead of for it. If you've ever felt unusual tiredness or muscle aches after eating mango, type P4 in the comments. And if mango is a regular part of your diet, let us know. You're not alone. Coming up next, a fruit that's often praised for boosting immunity and giving you your daily dose of vitamin C. But if your joints hurt, and if you're dealing with gout or unexplained swelling, this fruit could be making things worse. Let's talk about oranges. Last but not least, let's talk about a fruit that's probably in every household, orange. Bright, juicy, packed with vitamin C. We're told from childhood that oranges boost our immune system, help fight off colds, and keep us energized. And all of that is true, in the right body, at the right age. But here's what many people don't know. As you age, especially past 60, the natural acidity of oranges can become a hidden threat to your joints. You see, oranges are high in citric acid. In younger individuals, that acid is processed easily. But for older adults, especially those prone to gout, arthritis, or inflammation, that acid can contribute to a buildup of uric acid in the bloodstream. When uric acid rises, it doesn't stay in the blood. It crystallizes in your joints, causing sudden pain, redness, stiffness, and even swelling, often in the knees, feet, or fingers. You might have felt it before. Your knees throb the morning after you drank fresh orange juice. Your feet ache even though you didn't walk far the day before. Your fingers feel tight, like they're filled with pressure. You think, maybe it's just age. Or the weather. Or overuse. But it could be your daily orange. The healthy habit that's slowly hurting you. And remember, it's not just the fruit. Orange juice, especially the store-bought kind, is even more concentrated in sugar and acid. It spikes your blood sugar and inflames your joints faster than you'd expect. Have you noticed aching joints after drinking orange juice or eating citrus? Type P5 in the comments if this sounds familiar. And share what surprised you most in this list so far. Your comment might help someone else make the connection. You've now seen all 5 fruits that were supposed to help you, but may actually be slowly weakening your body if you're over 60. But don't worry, it's not about cutting out all fruits. The answer isn't fear. It's knowledge. Because up next, I'm going to show you 3 fruits that actually help rebuild your strength, protect your joints, and restore balance to your aging body. Fruits that heal, not harm. Let's move on to the hope and solution section. Take a breath. You've made it through the hard part. Now it's time for the good news. You don't need to fear fruit. You just need to choose the right ones, fruits that work with your body, not against it. Because even though some fruits may silently trigger pain, others have the power to restore, to balance, and to gently support the natural healing inside your muscles and joints, especially after 60. Let's talk about 3 fruits that do exactly that. 1. Berries, nature's anti-inflammatory shield. Blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, they're small, but powerful. Berries are packed with antioxidants called anthocyanins. These compounds actively fight inflammation, reduce oxidative stress, and help protect the connective tissues in your joints. Unlike sugary fruits, berries are low on the glycemic index. That means they won't spike your blood sugar. Instead, they support your metabolism and improve blood flow to your legs and muscles. Tip: A small handful of berries each morning can help ease knee stiffness and improve joint flexibility over time. 2. Avocado, the muscle healer. Avocados aren't sweet, but they're one of the most healing fruits for aging muscles. They're rich in healthy fats, magnesium, and potassium, nutrients that help reduce cramping, strengthen muscle fibers, and support the nervous system. If your legs often feel weak or tremble after walking, avocados help rebuild the foundation, providing your muscles the fuel they actually need. Tip: half an avocado a day can support stable energy, reduce leg soreness, and ease lower back tension. 3. Pears, papayas, and cherries, the gentle trio. Pears are high in fiber and naturally regulate blood sugar, reducing the inflammation linked to muscle and joint breakdown. Papayas contain papain, an enzyme that helps the body absorb protein, essential for maintaining strength after 60. Cherries are especially powerful. They lower uric acid levels, which directly helps reduce gout flare-ups and joint swelling. Together, these fruits create a gentle, healing cycle in your body, restoring mobility, reducing pain, and giving you back the confidence to move freely. You don't need to eliminate fruit. You need to listen to your body and choose the fruits that support your age, your health, and your life. And when you do, the results are quiet, but powerful. You wake up with less pain. You walk farther without fatigue. You move, not with fear, but with strength. Now, let's talk about what you can do next, because the most important step comes after the knowledge. You've just learned what most people never hear. That even something as natural as fruit can help or harm your body after 60. And that the weakness in your legs, the aching in your joints, the fatigue you feel, it might not be just aging. It might be something you can change, starting today. You don't have to feel helpless. You don't have to accept pain as your new normal. Because now you know the truth. You know which fruits to avoid and which ones to embrace. But knowledge means nothing if you don't act on it. So here's what I want you to do. If you've ever felt your legs getting weaker, your knees hurting more, or your body slowing down, drop a 1 in the comments right now. Let others know they're not alone. Let this video become a place of support, not just information. Was there a fruit that surprised you today? One you eat often? Share it in the comments. You might help someone else connect the dots about their own pain. And if you want more videos like this, where we tell you the truths most doctors don't say out loud, hit subscribe. Because we're building a community of older adults who want real answers, not just vague advice. Finally, share this video with your loved ones, your parents, your grandparents, your friends. Because sometimes, a single fruit on the table could be silently hurting someone you care about. You deserve to walk without pain. You deserve to wake up feeling strong. You deserve to live your life with freedom, not fear. And it all starts with a choice, today. We'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live.